Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, it's draft day, baby. Are you ready for draft day? Are you ready for draft day? Timmy is all jacked up. Oh, my Lord. If we
man, I've got the coffee, I've got the Red Bull, I got the cocaine. I'm set to go, man. It's a long day.
You're going to need some blow to get through this draft, I think.
I'm going to, man.
Yeah.
It's like all the coaches and players do.
Well, I heard Clinton was in town to see his buddy Jerry Jones yesterday. So
look, of all the random things that has happened,
cocaine, right?
all the random things that's happened during a Dallas Cowboys press conference over the last 35 years, a former president walking in the middle of a press conference and then falling down.
Jerry's
That's got to be tops. That's got to be tops.
That was outstanding. That was absolutely outstanding.
He didn't bring Monica with him, though. I was a little disappointed.
He said, remember those days back in Arkansas? Yeah, buddy. Had to have my troopers get those girls. Oh, man, that was good.
God,
he was having a good time.
I know so many stories, JP.
Yeah. But anyway, what a great draft day it is going to be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got their big draft party on Central Ave, or could shut down Central Ave in St. Pete. Ooh. And we're going to make a selection tonight, and it better be an edge rusher, or I swear to God, who knows where they're going. I think it's going to be a pretty – yeah, I think if Jeremiah Love's on the board, you better freaking take him.
Pass.
That's all I got to say.
They're going to pass. Telling you, my prediction.
Yeah, so this is it's a big draft, obviously, for Jason Light. How they come out of this draft, I think is going to be a huge determining factor as to, I say the direction of the franchise. To me, I'm still a little, as you know, I'm a little verklempt about what they've been doing here. Just more of pushing things down the road. Are they really going for it? Are they not? Is this a team that's going to be Super Bowl contender worthy? It's just a lot of meh, right? And it just feels like they're waiting for something big to happen. It could happen tonight. Maybe something falls. Maybe, the draft goes their way. Who knows? And in the top five, even I don't think we've had as much uncertainty in the top five as we do this year. I mean, the Cardinals sitting at 3 could do anything. The Jets, who the hell knows what they're going to do? They could pick, like they did many years ago. Somebody was like 37th on most of the draft boards in the top 5 and everybody go, what the F? I don't think it'll be that bad. They got a pretty easy choice, one or the other, and they're going to get a great player. So, but you never know. It's the Jets. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the top of this draft, and maybe Jason Light can take advantage of that. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve that they're looking to trade future picks. I doubt that very much. That's not what he does. Yeah. But you never know. I just feel like this is one of the most uncertain drafts in a long time, and also not a great draft. I don't feel like there's a lot of, just absolutely transformative players in this draft. But we'll chat about it as we go through the day. The Lightning, of course, up in Montreal for game 3. That will be tomorrow night. So they have an extra day in here. So hopefully the Bolts can get healthy. So we'll talk a little bit about the Lightning as well. The Rays had a freaking a wonderful day yesterday from my favorite player, Nick Martinez. There he is. Wait. What?
Nick Martinez is equal to Cy Young.
Yeah, no. Is that Nick Martinez on the left?
Yeah.
That sure don't look like him.
That's what MLB.com told me.
That doesn't look anything like him.
I didn't think so either. But that is not AI, by the way. I did not AI generate that. It's just what MLB.com told me.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting I try to get this thing behind.
Yeah, by the way, I don't know what's more interesting, our draft talk or Cops that's going on behind you.
No, it's the dog show.
It looks like an episode of Cops.
It's the dog show.
As we produce
Caesar, the dog.
Look, and I told you, even though you absolutely poo-pooed the signing when they got Nick Martinez. I said, man, let's just give him a little bit, right? That 1.2 WAR from last season does not lie.
That's for damn sure.
That's all I'm saying, man. Sure. Just give him a couple of weeks and see how he's doing and what he's at. Barely over 2 ERA right now.
Yeah.
Shutting down the Reds.
Listen, he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. It's an absolute bulldog. And I love the way he just gets after it. Just gets after it right in the strike zone. Like his, they call it a sinker. I don't know. The 2-seam fastball yesterday was just absolutely fantastic. It was dancing in and out. He got Ellie De La Cruz, I think, twice looking as that ball just kind of tailed at the end. Really, really good. And efficient, man, just pounding the freaking strike zone. Yeah, I was 100% wrong on this guy. I didn't think he would be a bad pitcher. I just thought at $13 million, and we had a lot of live arms, younger arms, maybe we could have spent that money in other places. It wasn't so much a distaste for him, the player, as it was, I think we have other priorities, and I think we could probably do better. But he's been a hell of an ad. And now, of course, with, and I should have predicted the multitude of injuries that was going to happen to our pitching staff. Because why? Because it happens every freaking year. Yeah. And the guys you think are going to come back and how quickly they're going to come back, because it's a 15-day deal. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And here we are once again with, but we got Pepio, Clevenger, and and you never know when they're going to come back. So anyway, Nick Martinez has been an absolute godsend, and he was fantastic yesterday. Caminero, continues to get hot as they've shuffled the batting order. Obviously, he's gotten better, but 6 home runs now, and that one was a beautiful, just another opposite field, staying through the middle shot, and that just makes him so freaking dangerous. And I saw a clip from him at Topgolf last night. Like he does a little, the step into it, almost like baseball. A Happy Gilmore where it's not quite the run up to Happy Gilmore, but it's a one step, boom. And that's so hard to do. And he just absolutely.
It's a lot of moving parts in that kind of swing. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, if he played golf, how far he could hit a golf ball? Holy Jesus. With those hands, the swing speed would just be off the freaking charts. Yeah. Really, really good. So we're going to get into all that stuff as we run through the day. And, of course, we'll all probably have something to say about very concerned about the Patriots head coach, Timmy.
Oh, God.
Mike Rabel.
What the hell are we doing here, JP?
Well, I just want to say that I think it's admirable that he's going to miss the third day of the draft, Saturday of the draft, to go to counseling, because this is way more important than the NFL draft. And it has to be done now. It has to be done Saturday, because if not Saturday, when are you going to do? I guess you could do it Sunday.
I mean, there's Monday.
You might move it into the next week. But anyway,
weeks, there's days of the week that counseling places are open, right? Like, that's my understanding.
Probably.
It's not a weekend only situation to go get counseling.
Well, we don't know that. This particular counselor may only be available on this Saturday and then book the rest of the year. So you don't know that.
I don't.
What I just want to say is I like the fact that the Patriots as an organization, the champions, family first, and fidelity in marriages. Look at Robert Kraft. When a franchise, a franchise like this, sending that virtue signal that we got to take care of it now. We got to take care of it now. It's important.
The draft.
So we're going to send our coach.
Now, does this tell us that this situation is important to handle immediately, or does this tell us that the third day of the draft don't mean diddly poop?
We can go either way with this, but evidently Vrabel is so wrecked that he's got to get counseling now. If they don't do it Saturday, he could be out at the Playboy Mansion, which I don't even know if they exist anymore. Yeah. But he could just go off the rails. It may not even just show. He'll just be out whoring around if you don't, get him to counseling on Saturday.
I mean, that's what I'm going to.
So I think it's admirable that this organization, this Patriots organization, the paragon of morality that it is having employed murderers and all right, I'm sorry.
Wow. You went Aaron Hernandez on us, didn't you?
What are we doing? It's just it's when you do stupid virtue signaling things like this, you cause me to like point out the obvious.
Yeah.
Like when you do stuff like that, you're probably trying to cover up stuff. You know? You're probably trying to cover up stuff. You want to make sure the world knows that this is a serious thing, and we got to do something, like change a name of a franchise or something like that. We got to do something that's going to really make a difference, and that's getting Mike Vrabel to counseling on Saturday of the draft. So we're serious about this.
JP, I have unconfirmed reports here that are rolling in that Diana Rossini is also seeking the same counseling on that Saturday at the same location. Unconfirmed, obviously, on my part, but I just
so it's a date
rolling in.
It is. Date.
And that's the only night they could get that room. I mean, counselor. Sorry, my Freudian slip there.
Ooh, nicely played. Nicely played. Sorry, we just sometimes have to give you a little bit cynical here. But anyway. All right, so NFL draft is here, and your Buccaneers are sitting at 15. Now, it's very interesting. I was listening to Daniel Jeremiah this morning on the Dan Patrick Show, my exhaustive research for this show. I even have to listen to Dan Patrick at times. No, we love Dan.
I like Dan Patrick.
Friend of the show. No, we love him.
Don't Keith Olbermann anymore. That's a bad listen.
How those two were ever together.
How crazy is that they were on the same show?
Yeah. Well, anyway. So he said that the Bucs at 15 are in a very interesting position. And we said that, obviously. I said, oh, well, that's interesting. Why is that, Daniel Jeremiah? And he said, that's about when the run on tackles is going to start. So there's a lot of teams behind the Buccaneers that need offensive tackles. And, that's about where these tackles should land. So it's kind of like need meets ranking for these tackles. So his thought was you might see a lot of teams coming up to 15 to get the tackle that they want. Like Tristan Wirfs when Light traded up to one spot to get him. You want to get your guy, right? You want to get your guy. What's it going to cost? Now, also, obviously, with Akeem Mesidor mock to the Bucs on almost 30% of the mock drafts, and obviously the need is there, the fit is there, but that's a little bit high for drafting, a guy that, 40s aren't everything, but he runs a 4.9 40. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's more of a technician, which I don't care. Just get the sack. It doesn't matter. So I like the player. I really like the player. I think he can make an impact. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I think he'd be really, really effective edge rusher, and that's what you need. And you might be able to get him at 23, 24, 25. And there's a lot of good edge rushers that are still there that you could probably fill that need and pick up a third-round pick, which gets you another quality player. Not a great player, but another quality player, which this team needs more quality players at certain positions, certainly on the defense. Anything in the front seven is going to help you dramatically this year. And I think that's how bad the front seven was last year.
Right.
So I think that's a good play. And I would highly anticipate the Bucs moving out of 15. Now, if they don't get Mesidor, if they go too low, who are they going to get? There's a myriad of guys that they could still get, especially at the top of the second round. And they're all kind of about the same. So, this is kind of where the Bucs are right now. I feel like they're not in a position at 15 and I don't see them like trading their first round pick, moving up to get, a Bailey or somebody like that. I don't see them doing that. And I don't think they should, because they need a lot. They need a lot more, especially in the front seven. They could add, a playmaking tight end. They certainly could add another corner. They certainly, could add a defensive tackle. They certainly could add an offensive guard for some depth up front. There's a lot of needs on this team. So, and that you could turn around and maybe have 5 picks in the top 3 rounds, and that makes you a better team overall. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I think that the Bucs are still building. And I think that kind of feels like where they're at. They want to add more cheaper drafted players, frankly. Sure. And then at some point, maybe go out and spend some money, some real money in free agency. Obviously, that's not going to happen for this year, but in years down the road. All of this is to say, the one thing that I took out of the pre-draft press conference misinformation session was the Bucs are in long-term mode. They're not in short-term, go-for-it mode. I mean, we probably deduced that from their free agent class, right? They are in, let's keep it mid. We're not going to do anything splashy. Just go get solid players to fill holes, experienced players, no long-term contracts, no big money. Draft it, maybe move back, draft a lot of players, cheaper players, and see where we are. And if we hit on a couple of guys, then maybe we're ready to go spend some money in free agency and maybe even get a new coach.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that they're long-term planning. Maybe one of the reasons they kept Todd Bowles was, okay, we got an eye on a guy that might be coming back in. Maybe it's a Mike Tomlin. Maybe it's a McDermott. Who knows? Maybe it's a guy from college. Who knows? Maybe that's a long-term plan because none of what they've done screams, we want to win now and we're going for it right now. None of it. So the alternative is long-term planning. Long-term planning does what? We're not jumping out to get one guy in this draft that we have to have, and he probably isn't going to be there at 15 anyway. So we can move back, pick up some extra picks, and continue to bring quality, to continue to be competitive in a crappy division. Yeah. That seems, listen, when you're 2-14 for 14 years, being in the hunt for a division title probably gets you excited every year. And I think the Glazers are more than satisfied with that. They're more than satisfied with that. They could risk more money. They could risk changing coaches. They could risk all this other stuff. It doesn't guarantee anything, obviously, but you could sit pat and basically go, we got a pretty good shot to win 9-10 games and win this division. Now, as a fan, does that excite me? Hell to the no. No, that doesn't excite me at all. I'm not juiced up by that. And I don't think Buck fans are, quite frankly, right now. I don't think Buccaneer fans are running to Central Avenue tonight with all their gear on saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. There's just, I don't sense that in the fandom right now. I sense a lot of indifference. I sense a lot of if we're going to keep this coach, I'm out. I sense a lot of, if we're going to, keep this coach and not go out and spend money in free agents, I'll pass for now. That's what I sense. I could be wrong. Yep. I could be wrong, but that's what I sense. And listen, the Bucs know exactly what they're doing, and I would suggest that they knew exactly what kind of reaction they were going to get by taking this path, right? They can't be surprised by the fan apathy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think.
And this is your last chance to really gain some fan excitement and gain some fan trust, right, before the rest of the offseason. If you screw up the draft, I mean, now this apathy that you're talking about, now this goes through the entire offseason, and it'll affect the beginning of the season. It'll affect attendance. I mean, I really think that. You got to make a splash here.
But they can't. They're at 15.
Well, I think you can.
I mean, they could trade next year's first-round pick, I guess, and jump up and get a star player. But Jason Light ain't doing that.
Look, when I say splash, I just mean make the right pick. Make the pick that's going to – what pick right now at 15 would excite you, JP? Akeem Messidor?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking. You know what?
He's a good player. He's a really good player. Now, screw around, trade down, and don't get him, and you get some other slapdick prospect. I think that could irk the fan base.
Yep.
Yeah, if they trade out and they trade into the second round and don't have a first round pick, I think that'll piss off the fan base. I don't think they'll trade out that low.
You're not going to trade out of the first round. I mean, you're not doing that, right?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, you're going to trade from 15 into the late 20s and also gain probably a third or a fourth, right, at the same time?
Yeah, or
maybe a second.
Maybe a late second. And that's why this draft is so. I think it's important and it's interesting. But I'm just talking about philosophically where are they at and what do I expect? That's what I expect. I expect a trade down. And listen, if you trade down and you can still get Messidor, right? And then, say you know, a Jacob Rodriguez or one of these really good inside linebackers falls to you in the second round. Like if they come out of this draft with Mesidor, Jacob Rodriguez, and 2 third-round picks and get, picking up an extra third by trading down in the first, well, that's a home run. That's a killer draft.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. That would be a dream scenario.
Yeah,
that would be an absolute dream. We talked to Scott Reynolds about that yesterday, the Pewter Report. And you may have to use that draft capital that you get by moving down to move back up into the second round to get Jacob Rodriguez, which I'm fine with that too. If you get those 2 players, I think you can massively, I don't know, maybe that's probably too work. You can considerably improve your defense in your front seven. With 2 starters of that caliber, you can. That's a great draft if you can get those 2 players. So in that sense, I think the Bucs would have momentum. And again, it's not just about tonight; it's about the full draft. We got a whole weekend to go, so it's not. We'll come on here tomorrow and talk about the number 1 pick, hopefully, and and then we got some time the rest of the week to see where this goes. Weekend, and then on Monday we really can break it down and see how much they affected this team and how much they set themselves up for the future. So, I mean, every draft, Jason said, every draft is uber important, but I think for the Bucs, who are not going to spend or did not spend a lot of money in free agency, it's uber important for them. It's uber important for them. See, Timmy, I didn't even touch anything, and that we just did that. I didn't touch anything, didn't kick anything. It just kicks out my camera and puts this camra on.
I'm 1,000 miles away. I can't help you from here.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's nothing I'm doing.
Have you ever tried swapping out the cameras?
Yeah, we've swapped out the cameras. we got
well, then that tells me that is an issue with the port that you have it plugged into in the computer.
I got about 18 ports that I'm plugged into. I'll switch them all up.
So that whatever one that one is plugged into, I would cease using it by noon Eastern time.
Okay. 10-4.
That's just a suggestion from 1,000 miles away. By the way, I call
thank you
that
for that
name.
Thank you.
So here's my thoughts on the 3 possibilities for the Bucs, and you can grade them in whatever order you would like to grade them. I will tell you this: if Akeem Mesidor, you keep talking about trading back into the first round. If you trade back past 20, and Akeem Mesidor is there at 20, the Cowboys are taking him, and he ain't gonna be around.
Okay,
later in the first round. That is just I believe that in my heart of hearts. That's that.
Well, tell me where the Cowboys are at with this draft, because I think they're centrally important to what the Bucs do, because they have a lot of the same needs, right?
Absolutely. You need an edge rusher, you need a linebacker, you need multiple defensive starters. If you didn't watch the Cowboys defense last year, they were the absolute worst by every metric of any standard in any sport in on any planet in this universe. Like on my Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz, the way I described it was, imagine the worst possible defense in the NFL. Now imagine all of those defenses in every other dimension of time across all universes, and they were worse than all of those too. So yeah, a lot of chatter. It's the same with the Cowboys, is people are saying, well, they could move up to get a guy. Well, the issue with, and I'll say this too, and I haven't heard as much trade up talk for the Bucs as I have for the Cowboys, but there's a whole contingency. Cowboys need to trade up to 6. They need to get Caleb Downs, and they need to maybe get to 3 and try to get David Bailey. And the problem with that is the Cowboys don't need one guy. They're not one guy away, and neither are the Bucs. The Cowboys need multiple starters across multiple positions, and you're not going to get that by trading up. Now, the Cowboys are in a unique position because they have 2 first-round picks. They have 12 and they have 20 by virtue of the Micah Parsons trade.
Mm-hmm.
So that 20 is the Packers pick. So they're in a unique position to fix a lot of things here, because I think there's a lot of starters that you can get that will help your team, and they're in the same position as the Bucs. The Cowboys are high on Caleb Downs. The dream scenario for Dallas is him slipping to 12. I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think.
I really don't. But much like the Bucs, there's also a trade down scenario for the Cowboys. If they don't like their guy at 12, rather than reaching or going to get, and by the way, new news breaking out of the Star after maybe the only story that supplanted the Bill Clinton story was that the Cowboys have said now publicly yesterday in the presser They will not negotiate with George Pickens on a long-term deal this year.
Yeah, what's that all about?
He is playing under the tag, and they will talk about it again next year. So here's a sticky situation with Dallas. If you've got a guy like, I don't know, Mekhi Lemon at 12 or 20, and you think this could be the future wide receiver of our franchise alongside CeeDee Lamb because we don't think George is him, they may go offense. It's a crazy situation, but I would not put it past them. That's exactly how CeeDee Lamb fell into their lap at, I think, 17 in 2020. Nobody thought they were going to pick offense, but CeeDee Lamb falls and you're not going to take him. Same thing with Emeka Egbuka with the Bucs. It's exactly the same scenario. And I think, obviously, the Cowboys need 2 defensive starters at 12 and 20, but if the board dictates otherwise, then they'll play along. And I think that's how the Bucs are going to be. I don't think the Bucs are going to reach at 15, but if like Hakeem Messidor is there, why would you not? That you're fixing one of your problems right there.
Yeah. This is a classic overthink. It's a classic overthink. Like while I'm watching Miami during the season, I'm going, man, if the Bucs could get one of these 2 guys, this would be a dream. And now it looks like Messidor is going to fall to him because, and I say fall to him because, you know, the 4.9 40 will turn a lot of people off. You know, I thought Coach Strong yesterday had some interesting things to say about him. You know, they moved him outside. He lost some weight. You know, he worked with Jason Taylor. And I think, you know, even though he's an older player, I still think he's got some upside in developing. Yeah. But just be who you are and give us double-digit sacks, and that's fine.
And I don't give a crap about the age thing. That's a ridiculous argument.
Well, I think it's because it speaks to longevity, Rob, obviously, right? But
if you're the Raiders, then it might matter because you're looking for a long-term thing. If you're the Bucs or the Cowboys, no, I don't.
You get 6 years. If you get 6 to 7 years, you get 2 contracts out of this guy, and he's doing double-digit sacks. At the 15th overall pick, that's a phenomenal home run. That's a phenomenal home run.
And you're going to get a 5th-year option, team option with him as a first rounder. And he'll be 29 going into that. You better know by then if he's going to help you long-term. If not, you cut him loose and you don't re-sign him. So it's not a big deal for a team like, and you know what? His numbers, 12.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles. I will take those numbers on the Bucs defense. I realize it's college.
Says still playmaker.
It says a lot, man.
Playmaker. Yeah.
That's going to look great on any. And I will tell you this, too. The Cowboys, as strong as I feel they would take him at 20, I don't think they take him at 12. I think 12 is a reach. 15 is on the borderline stretch of the highest he needs to go anywhere.
There's too many really good players on the board at 12, then. And again, 15, the Cowboys have lots of holes.
Yeah.
Alex Nunn is a super chat for us for $10 today. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you, brother. JP, the issue we have, no confidence in Light. If you're going to commit to a head coach, you have to match talent to his scheme. Light has failed 4 years straight. Issue is Light, not Bowles.
Wow. Come on, Alex. Wow. You know better than that. Light can't coach the team on the field.
I think there's some validity to what he says. I think there's some validity.
To an extreme, though.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We act like Todd Bowles is not involved in these personnel decisions. Yeah. Alex, you think Jason Light is sitting there by himself making these calls? No, it's quite the opposite. In fact, you know, from what you can see in the war room, you know, the all the great video that they put out after the fact, and you know, the Bucs website does a phenomenal job of taking us behind the scenes of the war room. It is a very, very collective process. And I would even beg to say that Bowles may have more say in the defensive picks than Jason Light does. So to kind of just act like Todd Bowles doesn't have input into this draft, I think is kind of silly. And especially the defensive players. I think he handpicks them, to be quite honest. By the time, and it's not like they get to the draft and they start talking about players. This has been going on for 4 months. And Todd will come into, they'll, like Jason described it last week, they'll just pop into each other's office and say, hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Let's look at this guy a little bit more. Let's look at, and I'm just knowing Jason the way I do. I think he's very much open-minded. He's not a stubborn, autocratic type person. Now, Bowles could be described that way.
Yeah.
And I think Todd picks his guys and and he's come, and probably has way more sway than Jason Light does. Because I know Jason is going to defer to the guy who's putting the team together, the defensive team together. So I think in that sense, I think Jason is not just doing this by himself.
This was funny from Buckin. Alex is Todd Bowles' burner account.
No. But I will just have to say, Alex, I will say, I think Todd, Todd he needs to take full account for that defense.
Well, and look at it. Let's look at it this way. At the time that most of these picks have been made by Todd, who is ultimately responsible for the draft picks, right? He can get all the input from everybody else, but it is ultimately his decision. He is the one held accountable. Over the past 4 or 5 years, how many picks have there been that when that pick was announced, JP, you went, oh my God, what the crap are we doing here? How many of those have there been?
What, for the Bucs?
Yeah. Going back, let's say 3 years, the last 3 drafts. How many times has there been a guy that Jason Light picked, that the Bucs picked, that you absolutely scratched your head over and went, this is a horrible decision?
Not many.
If any, right?
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's my point.
I mean, the Ibuka thing was a little jarring at first, but then when you digested it, you were like, yeah,
makes sense later, right?
Really good. Yeah.
It made sense later.
You know, this is a bigger need than I really thought, you know.
So
started to drill down.
It's tough to question the talent that Light has put on the field, right? Because we believe that all these guys have talent. Where they are failing is the play on the field. That is Todd Bowles. That is not Jason Light. You can question Jason Light all you want, and I get it. People do. When teams lose, you question everything. And I have no problem with that. Light should be held accountable for everything. But when players fail on the field, when you have higher expectations for them, to me, that's either the player and everyone was duped that he's maybe not very good. David Walker.
We don't know.
Hasn't played yet. Hasn't even played yet. You know,
he's quite the content creator, though.
He is. How many shirtless Instagram posts does he have?
Oh yeah, it's not shirtless. It's just a day in the life of David Walker. It was I don't know. It wasn't well received.
Yeah, it was.
It's kind of a little weird, but
fine.
You know what?
That's my point. Like this is not always on the GM.
He's a 4th round pick, for God's sakes. I mean, people waiting for David Walker to be the savior at edge is a little silly at this point. I mean, my God, he may be a good player, but where's the evidence that, oh my God, we thought we were going to have David Walker last year. That's where it all went wrong. I'm like, what?
Sure would be nice to have him healthy, though.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to see what he can do, but let's not be like having a place. Oh, we don't need to draft edge. We got David Walker. Not that I've heard anybody say that, but last year, last year, this whole offseason thing about Chris Braswell's going to take a huge step forward.
Good God.
That was
a disappointment.
That was hugely disappointing. But when they said it, I think we all lifted an eyebrow and went, oh, really? Okay. All right. Well,
but you know what?
You guys see a lot more than we do behind the scenes. So maybe he's, turned the corner on something. I don't know. So I was excited to see it. And he may have regressed. It's better. May have regressed.
But when that pick was made, nobody thought, oh, God, that's a reach. Right? In the second round,
I didn't think it was a reach, but there was also he didn't even start at Alabama, but he had the numbers, the pressures were good, and obviously at Alabama, you've got multiple first rounders that were ahead of him. And that's the thing. If you're in the rotation and you're getting a lot of numbers, but I remember when I turned on the tape, because I didn't look at a lot of Chris Braswell tape. When I turned on the tape, I was like, okay, I see he's pushing some guys, but there's not a lot of variety. There's not a lot of athleticism. I don't see a whole lot of burst. I'm like, didn't see it. It was kind of a lot of solid, but if you're going to,
Chris Braswell goes in the second or in the 4th or 5th round rather than the 2nd round, are we still going, what the hell's wrong with Chris Braswell? Or are we just saying,
no.
By the way, he's still only 24 years old. He won't be 25 until midway through the season this year.
Yeah, but he's still the same guy.
But he's not. It seems like he's not improving, right?
No,
not developing.
I didn't see any development this year at all. But It certainly didn't show up on a stat sheet. And when you every time you turn on the tape, nothing ever jumps off at you. He runs into the offensive tackle and sticks to him like Velcro. It's like he's not even trying to get away from the guy. It's just like, I'm just going to push you or try to push you. Oh, I'm not pushing you. Oh, play's over. Whoops.
And you got to think for him, this is probably the final year, right? Like if he doesn't,
unless he does something, you know.
Yeah,
it's hard to see players break out in year three.
This will be year 3.
Yeah, year 2, you'll see a breakout. You know, just wasn't comfortable. Blah 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 blah. In year 2, you start seeing some stuff. Year 3, you know, he really comes in. But we didn't see anything last year. At least I didn't. Yep. I didn't see anything that was remarkable. All right, we'll take a break. We're going to come
JP,
back.
By the way, I'm going to tease something here for you.
Oh, please do.
I've got 2. If things go horribly wrong in the NFL draft in the first round ahead of the Bucs, I've got 2 offensive players for you. That if things go horribly wrong and they decide to go offense, I got 2 players for you. We'll talk. If
they go offense, it better be Jeremiah Love falling to him.
That's all I go with 15.
I know.
Hey, and I think both of these guys that I'm going to tell you, they would help the Bucs better than Jeremiah Love.
Get out of here. All right, I'm listening.
Jeremiah
That's a good tease.
You know who Jeremiah Love's going to be in the NFL?
Kenneth Walker III.
What's a good comp? Man, we wish, right?
Saquon Barkley.
Rashad White.
Think about it.
Rashad White.
No,
that's your comp.
Get out of here.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Talking about
Ezekiel Elliott.
What the hell are you talking about? Rashad White.
Mark my words. Mark my words.
We'll see. All right, we are brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing. Hey, here's the deal. Give them a call, get a free estimate. They'll come out to your house. But I don't have a problem with my roof. Not now.
Not yet.
Not yet, but you might. You're going to get a special discount for being a loyal listener of the JP Peterson Show, so that's good. But they're going to come out. They're going to educate you about your roof. They're going to get up there and they're going to go, oh, listen, you're good for probably another 3-4 years, but you had a couple of spots up there that maybe we could repair before the hurricane comes. Maybe take care of that. But get to know the folks at Pitch Roofing. So when the hurricane does come and your roof blows off and you need a roof right away, you already have a long-standing relationship with someone. You've talked to them. You know who they are. They've done some work for you, and boom, you're right there. We're working on a plan right now to start putting together a list, a priority list. So when the hurricane comes, if you're part of that list at Pitch Roofing, then you're good to go. So we'll let those details fall out as they may. But it's a great idea just to get to know these folks and learn about what's going on your roof, because it's pretty damn important with your house, right? And it's a free call, free estimate. They'll come out for free and do it all for you. So get to know them at pitchroofing.com. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, You do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. It's a great place to watch hockey. Watching some hockey last night. I didn't stay up through the double overtime of Dallas like you did, Timmy, but
Oh my God.
is there anything better than the hockey playoffs? Holy crap, man. It is so good. I cannot wait to see Montreal and the Lightning tomorrow night. Great place to watch it is over at Riveters. Always. You can watch baseball there. Always during Rays games, you get the $6 Tito's, you get the $6 margaritas, $6 Jack. And it's always fun because you got other Rays fans there, and it's indoor, outdoor, and the staff is great, and the food is fantastic. It's Riveters. Anytime you want to hang out, happy hour is the best, 3 to 7. And anytime is a good time to go over to Riveters and watch sports. The best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay. It's Riveters right there north of 275 on Dale Mabry, just south of the stadium, and where the new stadium will be.
JP, I can imagine that $6 for a Tito's in the Tampa Bay area is probably pretty good.
It's fantastic.
Did you know that here
$12 everywhere else?
Did you know that here in Texas, in the great state of Texas, where, of course, Tito's is founded down in Austin, Although it's the worst city in the state of Texas after Houston. They do have some redeeming qualities because that's where Tito's was founded. And did
That's
you know
right.
that most of the places here in Texas that are legit bars and whatever, Tito's is like $3. It's almost considered a well.
$3.
Yeah, like I got the bar that I go to, and
You
it's
have
not a
$3 drinks in Texas?
Oh,
Cocktails?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't have that in Tampa. Not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, not everywhere. There's other
$6
places
is cheap
that
for Tampa. Yeah,
some of the
very
higher
cheap.
dollar places you'll pay $6 for Tito's, but you also paid $14.
Oh, now hold on.
for
Hold on. So you walk into an upper crust type, what's that little trendy area you have down in Dallas there? That little
Star?
No.
Deep Ellum?
What is it called?
Deep Ellum?
No. There's a where all the trendy bars are in Dallas. There's a little district. You would probably never been there, so
The
you
Arts?
don't know.
The Arts District? I don't know.
No, there, it's
Like
what do you
downtown?
guys- No, there's a it's called something street. Something street. Anyway,
McKinney
you go to
Street.
one of those places and you
Yeah.
walk in, you're getting a $3 Tito's or a $6 Tito's. You can't find it. You
Tito's
can't
is
find
never
it.
more than Tito's is never more than $6 anywhere around here. Like that's on the high end. for
Seriously? Yeah.
Tito's. 'Cause
You
Tito's
can't
is
get
in
a
our
cocktail
backyard.
downtown Tampa for less than $12.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
you can't. Like, yeah. Am I wrong here, folks? Now, I'm talking about now Rivers, obviously you can.
Sure.
And there's other
sure.
places, but you go to even a nice bar or restaurant anywhere in Tampa, you order a cocktail, and especially a call brand, it's going to be 12 to $15, just
Wow.
like every hamburger. It's just Tampa prices have gone bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, Tampa is, you know what? Look, I subscribe to some Tampa stuff.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons now. Like
Yeah.
WFLA's YouTube page, I subscribe to. Channel 8. And about twice a day, I get a notification from WFLA Channel 8's YouTube page about a story they just did that makes me question all things that are real in the state of Florida and in the city of Tampa. They put the craziest stories on their YouTube page, and I'm like, this just lends credence to every Florida man ... story I've ever heard, and they're all real. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
It's insane. I love
A lot
Tampa.
of crazy people here
Freaking love Tampa.
as well. We got another super chat from Bucs Basement. Said Bucs are following the Mets blueprint. Not good.
Man, how about did you see the links they were going through to break that stupid streak with the fans and stuff?
There was some stuff, right? Well, it all
Yeah.
started when Mamdani met Mr.
Yep.
and Mrs. Met, right?
That's it.
And then he
By the way, when did they get a Mrs. Met? That was news to me. I didn't know about Mrs. Met. Did the
Kinda
lesbians cry out for that?
she's kind of hot. I ain't gonna lie.
Does have fake eyelashes though.
The nice ponytail. Yeah.
Yeah.
A girl in a ponytail and a baseball cap.
I didn't say I wasn't into it. I just didn't know when they got it.
Yeah. And my wife cannot say anything to me about espousing my love for Mrs. Met because
No.
she's like all about the big muscly mascots.
Oh.
It's like,
I thought you were
have
going to
seen
say
the
Mr.
Demon
Met.
Deacon one. I'm like, what?
Oh, hell yeah. That dude's jacked, man.
He's jacked. He's on roid. He's bigger than football players.
His steroids are on steroids.
He said, Bucs Basement said the Mets blew up the coaching staff, got rid of some of their star players, and kept a very unpopular head coach. The Mets are the worst team in baseball right now. The Bucs better hope this isn't a sign. Did you see the Onion's tweet on that? It said Mamdani
Yes.
enacted a law that all visiting teams who come to play the Mets must surrender 2.5 runs per game. They have to share their runs, their offensive output. I love that.
How long's that guy going to last?
I don't know. It's fun to watch though.
Oh, it is. Because that's what they asked for up there.
Yeah. Let's watch a real
Get what
live
you deserve.
socialistic experiment play out in our biggest city. And then for those folks who don't know what socialism is all about, and you have no sense of history whatsoever, you're going to see it all play out right in front of your face. And it's
By the way,
absolute disaster.
Let me remind everybody, we used to have a country on this planet called the United Socialist Soviet Republic.
How'd that work out?
How'd that work out in 1989, huh?
How's Cuba doing? How was Venezuela doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to open your eyes and see what that's
There's
all
history
about.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, but there are people now that are publicly espousing the virtues of socialism. I'm not saying capitalism doesn't have its issues, folks, and right now it really, really does. And we need to enforce the laws, the antitrust laws that we have, and get back to some good old fashioned competition, and we would see things change. But
sounds like you're attacking MLB with your antitrust hate.
I like my sports to be socialist. Don't get me wrong. I want socialist sports. We all want,
we all do.
100%. We want even everybody to be the same. In a vacuum, that works, right? But yeah, otherwise it does not. So anyway, the Rays yesterday get a big win, a 6-1 win over the Rays, salvage one of that series. Nick Martinez was
not the Rays.
The Reds, yeah. They were fantastic in Martinez went 8 innings, gave up 1 run, has absolutely attacked the strike zone. The two-seamer was spot on. Doug Wechter's breakdown of the pastrami sandwich I thought was epic. Absolutely fantastic with the pretzel bun and the spicy Thousand Island.
I saw that picture of that. Holy crap, I want one of those things now.
And that's the way you make, that's a Reuben, right? That's a Reuben. Pretzel bun, the Thousand Island. I think you need a little spicy mustard in there too. You
can spice up the Thousand Island. I make a spicy Thousand Island at home when I make homemade Reuben.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And then the Havarti cheese, yes, and then the corned beef, pastrami, and the pretzel. But that's strong. That is strong. That's good ballpark food right there.
Dude,
so that was a highlight.
Reuben,
he also did a Wechter's Wednesday on bunting with Chandler Simpson, which I absolutely loved. And he talked about how he's been working on it and the different angles that he uses. And he does, before the game, 40 to 50, 60 bunts one-handed like this. He's really into it. And I love it. I just freaking I eat up that stuff. And it's fantastic. So they had a great broadcast yesterday. Great job, guys. Really enjoyed it.
Love
and
Doug Wechter,
it was fun to watch, Johnny DeLuca in center field. Johnny DeLuca in center field is better than Cedric Mullins in center field. Let's just say that.
I mean, that should be a given.
Well, you hope that, and it's early and Cedric can find it, but I don't think his defense has been outstanding. I don't think his offense has been awful. I definitely think that he is not good. I mean, this is just not the Cedric Mullins of years past. And sometimes guys just lose it. And what we've seen so far, not great. But Johnny DeLuca ran down some balls in center field yesterday. Had it tagged up on a 218-foot pop fly from Chandler Simpson, using his speed and his instinct. So, yeah, I'm tending to, and maybe it'll be kind of a platoon situation, but right now for me, DeLuca's the guy. And we're going to give Cedric Mullins. We signed him, and all the rope I'm sure he will need, but right now, it's a no bueno for me. No bueno. As Buckin says, Cedric Mullins is several years over the hill.
How old is he? I didn't think he was that old.
I think he's 34, 33. Check.
31.
31. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think he was like that old.
The Bucs Skull Game says, hello, JP. Who do you think the Bucs getting draft today, staying put, or moving down? I think we covered that in the first. My gut feeling would be that's a move down. It's a move down. That's where they're at right now. Get more players, nothing spectacular, no moving up, no crazy moves, more likely moving down, getting more players. More above average players, hopefully. That's that needs. Bucks Basement says JTS and Logan Hall were terrible top picks. I would say JTS was bad. That was a terrible pick from the beginning. I didn't like it the day it happened. It was just a guy who sat out COVID, and everything you learned about him early on was like, does this guy really love football? Does he really love football? Is he just more of an athlete? And that just those guys just don't tend to work out.
Nope.
And Rick is in this morning. He says, Jason says, who do you want here? Todd says, give me JTS. That kid looks great shirtless. I will develop him. Jason, we'll take it from here, Todd. There's milk and cookies in the break room. Yeah, I mean, that just was an uninspired pick, in my opinion, right off the bat. So that was one you were asking where you went, you scratched your head. That was one where I kind of scratched my head. Because it's funny when you make picks like that, and guys make picks like this all the time and don't work out. It's not just the Bucs, right? It's every draft pick, even in the first round, is a 50-50 crapshoot, right? And Charlie talked a lot about the lengths of which the Bucs go to figure guys out. They do a ton of character homework on all these guys. But you could still be fooled. You could still be fooled. And you never know until you get a guy in, 2 or 3 years, do you really figure out what his habits are, his work habits are, how he affects all those things. And also money changes guys. Although now they make obviously good money in college. So you'll find out a little bit more. You can get a little bit more about how they handle their money, which is important too. So you got to do all your research, but even with all that, you can be fooled. You can be fooled. You just never know because guys change when they get to the big leagues. So yeah, Rays yesterday, nice win. Liked a lot of stuff that we saw yesterday, but I still look at this team every time, and I'm like, they're kind of like a 500 team. There's nothing spectacular about this team, the Rays team. You look at it, and except for maybe the speed of Chandler Simpson and the power of Junior, everything else is that's good. That's pretty good. That's okay. That's good. Just nothing, the lineup in general is good, but not great. The pitching in general has been good, not great. The bullpen's been awful. It just looks like a kind of a 500, 2-3 games over 500 team. Doesn't look like a team that's going to, be 20, 25 games over 500 and competing legitimately in the playoffs. That just doesn't seem like that kind of team to me. And when you're even though they're at 108 million more than they've ever had in payroll, they're still bottom 3 in the league. And that's what this whole stadium is about, by the way. They want to be able to get off the welfare of Major League Baseball, get off the revenue sharing, and build something big and profitable like the Braves did to pour the money back into the team and have a $250 million payroll. That's the plan. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe these guys. I believe in what they're doing, and hopefully that's where we're headed. That's the plan. This is interesting. Will Weatherford steps down as the chair of the board of trustees at USF this morning. Why is that interesting? Well, he is one of the He's one of the limited partners for the Rays. He was always also the point man to get the stadium built at USF. So maybe this is something where he'll be coming on officially as a stadium type person, get her done thing for the Rays. Obviously, he wrote that very eloquent piece about what this project means to the city of Tampa, the Tampa Bay region, that we read on the air, and I thought he was absolutely spot on. And we're still endeavoring to get Will on the show. So, Will, if you're listening, please give me a call. Email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com. So yeah, maybe that signals something. So we shall see what's next for Will Weatherford. He's a mover and a shaker, and you want him on your side. That's for damn sure. And he's, as part of the Rays ownership team, maybe now he can transition it to being a little bit more hands-on and getting stuff done for the Rays. That's what I love about this ownership group. I mean, it is an all-star cast of people who are Tampa Bay, who lived here or Tampa Bay adjacent, as we say. And that's something we've never, Vince obviously was here, but he was a knucklehead. It's our first owner. He was just a little bit different, just a little different. And then we don't need to even talk about the next guy. So this is different. This is a bunch of movers and shakers who've done great things in this community and made a difference. It's so interesting when you go on social media and you like somebody will come at you about the stadium and stuff, and then you click on their profile and you're like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's like, they got 27 followers. They're just, they're usually of one political persuasion. Right. They're not movers, shakers, pioneers, trendsetters, board of trustees, chairman of Augusta National, CEO of this, CEO of that's on the side that's trying to build this and do something great and iconic. The people that are against it are just, again, it's not nothing against ham and eggers. I'm a ham and egger. I'm not a rich guy, but not even close. My ex-wife has all my money and still getting more.
You're not supposed to bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
It hurts
so
me
but I'm also, I don't know, more aspirational, more. I want to build big things. I want to do iconic things. I want to make them. I want to make a difference in the community. I want that stuff. Like, I want to see us grow. I want to see us be great. I don't want to see us to be, we need revenue sharing money and the lowest payroll. But we can win a couple division titles here. That'll be great. And we could stay in the trop and, and count our pennies. And no, we're better than that. We're better than that. We can get fire trucks and baseball stadiums. We're better than that.
It's impossible.
We're like the 11th largest market in America. We have one of the largest economies in the world. And we sit here and act like we can't afford to do it. Yeah, we can. And somebody put on, there was another, negative article. They trot out J.C. Bradbury, this guy who was an academic whose entire career has been dumping on stadium deals, and he's out shilling another book. So that TBT is going to say, "Oh, why don't you write an editorial to tell us what a horrible deal this is?" And I go on there to print. I go, Gemini, tell me about what the battery has produced for Cobb County. Oh, $40 million in annual revenue. That's 18 million more than their debt service on the stadium, total debt service. So all this money basically going into the general fund. And that's exactly how it works. Where Bradbury has this thing, I've done a long study and it shows that the battery is a disaster. Get out of it. You can cook the numbers any way you want. I live near there. Yeah, well, I work near there. And I remember what it was. It was a grove of trees. It's no longer a grove of trees. It's a thriving a ballpark entertainment complex that 9 million people are visiting a year. And you're going to tell me that it's had a negative impact on Cobb County. You're a buffoon. Get out of here with that. It's ridiculous. And yes, past stadium deals have been bad. A lot of them have. This new model puts J.C. Bradbury out of business, and he doesn't like it. So he needs to write another book and cook the numbers and they tell you that it has no economic impact and an economic drain, which appeals to a certain populist agenda, which to a certain group, and they'll go buy the book and he'll make money, and good for him. That's fine. Feed your family. That's all good. But don't come here and try to wreck what we got going on. That's really, really a great opportunity for the people of Tampa Bay. And no, I'm not getting paid. Do you see the Rays as paid advertisers? No, they don't pay me. They don't pay me. I don't have a job with them. I just have for 20 years studied this and know exactly what would be best for Tampa Bay and where it would be best. And a lot of quote experts agree, economic experts. It's funny, you only believe the ones that sit in a basement of a college talking about economics, but the guys that are actually out there building stuff and signing paychecks and doing economic feasibility studies and building things, like, you don't want to believe their economic studies, but you want to believe the guy who's drawing a public salary, who has never, run a business in his life. Or maybe he has, I don't know, but he don't run this business. That's for sure. So I always, no, those economic studies are garbage, but that guy, the academics got it right. You believe the experts. Yeah. We see how that goes. By the way, the Royals got their deal done. And what are they doing?
Yep.
They're building a mixed-use project in downtown Kansas City, bringing the ballpark to where the fans are and building stuff around it to bring in revenue. Everybody's doing it. And we're going to be the one that turns it down in a tourist area. Kansas City's not even a tourist area. We're a tourist area. We depend on bringing people in at big events. That's our economy, Like, this is – and what could you possibly build that would dovetail with what our economy does? Yeah. Kind of a layup, really. Build the damn park and draft Team Mesidor. I'm fixing things. Let's not overthink it, people. Well, we need edge rush. That guy's pretty good. I'm not saying he's going to be freaking Lawrence Taylor, but for the 15th pick in the draft, fits pretty good. Yeah, Alex Nunn got this right. You want to know an example of a bad stadium deal? Look at Lone Depot Ballpark in Miami. Dead middle of Miami with nothing around it, and attendance is so bad. Yeah, that's doing it wrong. You know what else is doing it wrong? Building a shit box on the edge of the market that was designed in 1983 and like making it last till 2020. That's Tropicana Field. That's doing it wrong with owners, two terrible owners. I had somebody come at me and say, why would we spend this much on the Rays? Nobody goes to the games. And by the way, they're averaging over 20,000 so far this year without Stu Sternberg. Shocking development.
Yeah, I saw those attendance numbers. Yeah, those are
Shocking
great.
development.
Man.
Yeah. That's
imagine how that's going to look in a brand new stadium.
That's up 25%. And it's, still a bad location and a bad stadium. Yes, they've done everything they can to fix it up. Great. Awesome. And I'm not going to sit here and say that those numbers will last all year. We'll see. But obviously there's that's a significant increase. And why? Because Stu's gone and everybody that hated him is buying tickets now. And these guys are actually marketing the team, which is something Stu rarely did in a meaningful way. And that matters. That matters big time. So my point is, if we do it right, we've done it all wrong. Horrible stadium, horrible location, horrible owners. Great, good location, middle of the market, iconic stadium, everything around it to bring in non-baseball fans, to make it an experience for everybody. An ownership group that's doing things in Tampa Bay like a Jeff Vinnick and investing in our marketplace, doing all the groundworks, marketing. That's a total game changer. Keeping, getting revenue from the multi-purpose complex, putting it back into the team to keep Junior Caminero and your stars. All of those things are things we've never done. And imagine if we do it right. Oh, wow. Do you think there would be significant increase in attendance? I don't have a crystal ball, but all that adds up to me to be a home run, a grand slam. It should be. It may not be. It may not work out that way. Tampa Bay fans may still just sit on their hands. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but if you're going to build stuff, you have to project into the future. What's it going to do? What's it going to bring? Let's look at the facts. And when you lay it all out, looked pretty damn good to me. Thomas
and we have historical references to go on, showing that it works. This isn't some crazy plot that nobody's ever heard of before. This is a proven model
that everybody's rushing to do, by the way.
Everyone else is rushing and
as Thomas
Stadium
says,
in Kansas City. There's nothing wrong with Kauffman Stadium.
Right. Thomas says, what was the economic impact of NFL and NHL in Tampa since its inception? This fries their brain every time. Yeah. So you're going to tell me that the $180 million we spent on Raymond James Stadium to keep our NFL team that was going to go to Orlando wasn't worth it? There's still people that go on social media and say, oh, look what we did with the Glazers. And they're thinking, I'm like, yeah, look, 180 million we built that stadium for. We kept our NFL team. Now, do I have a magic wand that says, okay, when we kept our NFL team, this is exactly the benefits that happened? Just look around. Look at the growth of Tampa Bay. Like, look at it. And I'm not saying it's just because of the NFL team, but it all works in concert. You bring these teams here, you get national notoriety. Mm-hmm. You see the TV shots. I mean, every time I'm on Lightning Vision, we start with a beauty shot of downtown Tampa and the water and everything. Like this, every time I'm walking into the arena, as I walk over the bridge on Harbor Island, and I'll do a little Instagram thing, and it's like, look at this, man. Look at this place that we live. We're playing hockey right here. This is hockey in paradise. The NFL, baseball, it's all here. Yeah. And as other places decline and go socialist, where will people want to be? Oh, that place looks cool. Look at that. When they come here and we get more traffic. But again, let's build light rail along with this baseball in this stadium complex. And that doesn't have to be our money. We can get federal money for that. Rick Scott, keep your hands away from it, by the way, and your bills. All right, we got to take a break. Let's take another break. When we come back, we'll get to more of your comments, more on the draft, as well as we look around the league, what's going to happen in the top 5. Orestes Estrada is going to check in with us and talk a little Rays baseball. So all those good things coming up. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Hey, why would you call a 1-800 number and say, I want to check some rates? And then you got to call it, and then you get a voicemail hell, and you're talking to robots, and you press this. Why would you do that when you could call 813-877-7799 and say, look, can you shop my homeowner's insurance? Can you shop my auto insurance? Can you shop all my insurance products and see if you can find a better price? Yeah, sure. We'd love to help you. Yeah, it's easy. 813-877-7790. Then they come back and they say, oh, we found another company here. They're really good, and we can get you these discounts and probably save you $600-700 on your homeowners. Oh, damn. Okay. Sounds good. That sounds like a good way to go. They do all the work. You save all the money. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. And they have a Boca Grande office as well. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports, FanStreamSports.com, your daily source for all things me. I'm sorry, JP. Oh, JP's back with us.
I'm back.
I thought I was talking behind your back.
No, I may have been delayed a little bit, but everything came out okay. So we're good to go. Big O's going to join us here at the end of the show, so we'll talk a little bit more Rays baseball. So we'll get into that if you like. I want to remind you folks, Genesis of Tampa is the best place to buy a car. I know because I just went through the whole process. Absolutely fantastic folks over there, super friendly. Yeah, very welcoming. You come on in, go test drive the cars. They're absolutely phenomenal technology-wise. They don't break down, by the way. They make a great car. Genesis does. The Hyundai Corporation, absolutely fabulous at making cars. And the luxury and the price, everything is spot on. My GV70, I absolutely love it. Go check it out. It doesn't take anything to just go get a test drive, and they will shower you with gifts and opportunities to win money and all kinds of fun stuff going on there at the great Genesis of Tampa. 801 East Bears Avenue, just off of 275 up there, North Tampa. Yeah. All right, we got a couple of things coming in here from the questions on the draft. Get them all in. We will answer them as best we can. DJT says, can you see them trade up for Styles? No, I don't see them doing anything aggressive in this draft at all. That's
another guy too, by the way. If he's there at 12, the Cowboys are snatching him up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he'll be long gone.
Yeah.
I'm basing this off of what they've done. Again, when it comes to drafting and the direction of the franchises and things like that, I mean, obviously Jason Light's not going to give out any strategies or long-term things. Obviously, you don't want to do that. So you got to look at what they did. What are they doing? They're signing older players to minimum term contracts, not long-term deals, not big deals. They're not in that super aggressive mode. They're not firing a coach who's just 500 there and looking for somebody better. They're just kind of going along middle of the road. So why would they suddenly make some hugely aggressive move to trade up, giving away next year's first round pick and probably more a second or third in this year's? They're not doing that. They're just not doing that. I don't think they could. It's obviously in their purview, but I would doubt that very highly. Rick says no RJS, no BTS, no JTS. Think about it. Very true.
All right.
Yep, the BTS stuff is getting going this weekend. Yeah. So by the way, if I always wondered about this, people are always like, oh, the traffic on Dale Mabry is going to be terrible. I mean, like, well, there are alternate routes. Like this weekend, don't drive by RJS if you don't have to. Take an alternate route. Don't go down Dale Mabry. It's going to be a BTS disaster or wonder, take your pick. So if there's a baseball game or a football, like if there's a football game and you're not going, do you drive by? Do you at the,
why would you?
Unless during the game where there's no traffic. So these are other things that people always say. And I'm like, well, figure it out. And one of the things when they built Truist Park, one of the biggest detractors was, oh, the traffic is horrible. How are we going to get to the game? Well, first of all, the traffic is horrible in Atlanta anyway. I don't know what to tell you. You to fix that too. But guess what? They figured it out. People figured they took alternative routes. They took different ways that they took Ubers. They took Lyfts. People figure it out. And just like the parking for the new, the TBT want to make a big deal about, the 2,600 parking spaces. You think you're going to build one of these huge monstrosities and not figure out the parking? Build parking garages, figure it out? Of course they are. So calm down, everybody. Figure it all out. Thomas reminds us Culverhouse was never moving to Orlando, but Ed Glazer wanted to move the Bucs to LA. Yeah, they were. If we did not build RJS Stadium, they were gone. Absolutely. And it wasn't like they didn't threaten to do it. And this group is not threatened to move the Rays. Now, I have told you in no uncertain terms, and they did say in their letter to the commission that if this doesn't go through, we're going to have to look at alternatives. Well, duh. Because the lease is running out in Tropicana Field. That's not an ultimatum. It's common sense. It's like just reminding you the lease is running out at Tropicana Field. If this doesn't go through, we're going to have to look at other places or alternatives. They didn't say other places or alternatives. But I'm going to tell you, the other objection is, well, why should we give money? Well, why is Kansas City giving $600 million to the Royals? Because they're going to get money back. They're going to get economic impact. They're going to bring the Royals into the city. That's going to create a lot of halo effect. And when you gather all these people together in the city, you're going to make revenue. It's pretty simple. But there's a professor out there that's going to tell me it's not real. Okay. Good luck with that. Bella's in this morning. Bell's in. Balala Bell.
What's up, Balala Bell?
We have made it to draft day. Let's go,
man.
So draft
8 hours, 35 minutes, 27 seconds.
Yeah. So let me ask you about it. I've never been a huge draft guy. As you guys know, I don't spend hours and hours and hours talking about the draft. I don't spend hours and hours looking into all these guys' pasts and stuff like that. I know just by watching college football who the good players are, and I pay way more attention to how they play on Saturday than how they run at a combine. So I think I have a pretty good grasp on who the good players are. And I kind of want to wait till they draft them to start commenting on them. It seems like a lot of we could be talking about other things, and we do. We have to. We have to talk about the Lightning and all these other great things that are going on. So we do, and I will watch the draft tonight and be curious. But again, I don't see like going to the draft. Would you go to the draft?
Oh my God. You know what? Johnny and I almost went to Pittsburgh this year. Dude, that's one of my dreams.
What's the allure? Tell me. What's the allure?
It's an event.
Okay. What do you do at the event?
People watch, number one, JP, just like you do at the Super Bowl or at the Masters. You do that.
That's fantastic. Right? I will always, but I could people
selfies
watch, not anywhere.
You do this?
I could do selfies anywhere. By the way, you're frozen.
Crap.
Put your other camera up. Why don't you put it into another port? Why don't you try the other port?
On my end. My end looks great.
You were frozen. Why don't you try the other port?
I don't know. Did you change ports during your long elongated break? Nope. No. That wasn't the emergency you were talking about?
No, not at all. I was taking care of other urgent business.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So what? I still haven't heard anything like. If I'm going to get on a plane and go, especially you, if you're going to get on a plane and go to an event.
Oh, I'm not flying there.
There better be some more entertainment than some dude walking up to a mic with a card telling me about.
Well, what's the entertainment?
Who the Arizona Cardinals are selecting. I don't give a shit.
What's the appeal of the Masters?
Oh my God. Are you serious?
That's what I'm asking you about the draft. Like, are you serious that you don't get it? Like, how
have you ever been on? Well, I've been to Pittsburgh. It ain't Augusta National.
That's true.
It ain't
I will give you that.
I love Pittsburgh. Don't get me wrong.
Might
it
have
ain't
more
Augusta
appeal than
National.
Pittsburgh.
I mean, I could go on and on about what's great about the Masters. Getting up close to watch Rory hit shots and talk to his caddy.
I might get to touch Roger Goodell if I'm there.
Try that and see how that works out for you.
Oh, he knows me. We're good.
Now they know that you've exclaimed it publicly that you're going to grope Roger
It's
Goodell.
not groping if you're friends. Then it's just a fondle. Strangers grope, friends fondle.
TJT says, with Evans and David gone, they need a sure thing in the first round, even if they have to trade up. Okay, TJT. That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
I like it, but
just because you lose 2-star players who are aging, and we're not, Mike still has something left in the tank, but Levante certainly probably not. But you don't overreact to that and give away the future to jump up and make a splash to say, hey, look what we got. Because there's no guarantee what you got is great, but there's a guarantee that you just gave up lots of compensation for players that you'll need down the line. So if you're rooting for a team whose mindset is, oh, we just lost 2 big names, we got to overpay to get another big game just to satiate the public and the fans, that's a bad organization. That's a very bad organization. That's the Cleveland Browns. Don't do that.
New York Jets.
Don't do that. Or the New York Jets. Yeah. What else we got here? Danny Boy says the theme park in the middle of Tampa will soon be coming. Not to mention the fact 850 acres in the Drew Park area will be redeveloped. That's a great point, Danny. What Danny's referring to is the projections on this mixed-use area, bringing in concerts, other events, big-time events like WrestleMania, Final Fours, national championship games, Super Bowls, World Baseball, all these things, right? All these things that would come to this area, our stadium complex. Those are all these things. They obviously bring visitors, and we're a tourist economy. So anything we can do, and he talks about theme park, we're projecting 10 million people a year would come here. Because why? Where do we get those projections? Well, 9 million people went to the Battery last year. And that is not necessarily a tourist area. I mean, tourists go to Atlanta. I get it, but it's not like Florida. Right. Like people come to Florida for the winter, for the beaches, for all those things. I know baseball's in the summer, but people still are constantly traveling to Florida. And when they come here, they want to, we have 70 million visitors a year that come into Orlando. I think the visiting numbers here are like 20 to 30 million that come to the Tampa Bay area. So those people need things to do. Where will they go? Well, maybe to this place. And so we project 10 million people coming to this mixed use area. That's a lot. It's a lot of people, and they bring a lot of money. And it's not just people who live in Hillsborough County who are paying for this. People coming from outside. Coming from outside the state, outside the country. It's a considerable amount of people. And that's money that's coming into your economy, not just being reshuffled around, which is often the arguments of the JC Bradburys of the world. Yes, some of that happens, absolutely. But a lot of it is from outside the area. And that's what this is all about.
Wait, why are they building a theme park in Tampa? What's wrong with Busch Gardens?
Well, they're not building a theme park. It's the analogy.
I know
what we're doing. It's Ken Babbies. Yes.
Because there's nothing wrong with Busch Gardens is my point.
No, we love Busch
Why don't we talk more about Busch Gardens?
Yeah.
By the way, I have 8mm video of Tim, of 3-year-old Tim at Busch Gardens. By the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
what do you remember about that trip?
We went mostly to only what I've seen on the 8mm video. Oh, and I do remember, by the way, as I'm at the theme park, I can distinctly remember thinking, man, this city needs an NFL team. Man, this city would do good with an NFL team.
And we got one.
Did we already 5 years later, you got one.
What year were you there?
72?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
73, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nathan Stout says $75 billion of economic impact or an empty parking lot in a rundown college. The people complaining about sidewalks don't even walk. Raise up and build.
That'd be like me.
That's another thing you see on their profiles, my man. That's another thing. Yeah, they're not going to baseball games. They're not going to football games. They're probably not leaving the house. So, of course, they don't want my tax money. Yeah, how much tax money are you really paying?
Let's build another McDonald's somewhere. Let's pay for that.
Yeah.
Something I'll use.
Bucs Basement said, hey, did you guys see the James Pierce Jr. verdict? It's disgusting. He gets away scot-free despite literally almost killing a woman and running over a cop. F the NFL sometimes, man. I did not read that. Did you read about that?
NFL had anything to do with that. But
Well, with the NFL, well, then now they'll make a decision on whether he's going to be suspended, I'm guessing.
yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the verdict.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Sorry. But I do know this. I don't know where that trial was. Was it in Atlanta? Probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, just in general, we tend to let a lot of criminals run free in this country for some reason. We just think that's a great idea to just let these animals out on the once they prove who they are, we just say, oh, sure. Don't do it again. Doesn't typically work out.
So James Pierce Jr. is avoiding trial by entering an intervention program. That's the outcome of this.
Really?
Stemming from a February 7th incident in Doral where he allegedly rammed his Lamborghini into a car being driven by.
That's right. It happened in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. And then drove away from police when they attempted to arrest him. Pierce followed Jackson's car, repeatedly collided with hers as she attempted. Look, no woman is worth this. I'm just telling you this right now.
Good God, no. Good God, no.
I've been with a lot of women, JP, and none of them are worth this. Now, I might be worth this.
I mean, when people show you who they are like that, like violent offenders, does he have a history of this? I know going into the draft, he was off the Bucs board and many other boards because of the stuff that people knew who he was.
Yeah.
And then his mom up there talking about what a great character he is and how she instilled all this morality into him. And literally weeks later, we get this. That's the sad part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the sad part, but it's part of the sad part about it.
Alex Nunn says that's true, JP. And if guys like Joshua Wostall cause this team to lead, my God, this will set Tampa back in a bad way because of so many high names involved in the whole Rays group. Yeah, that's the other thing is like, I understand people don't want to give money to billionaires. I don't think you people understand the process and the whole deal, but I get it. I get it. That being said, you're a elected official. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to look at the plans and the projections, and you're not allowed to say, oh, these 3 economic studies that we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for by well-known firms who do this for a living and crunch the numbers and did all that. We're not allowed to just say, oh, I don't believe them. You're not. You're an elected official. You have to pay attention to the facts. Sorry, these aren't facts. These are projections, but they're based on facts. And they're based on real-time data. They're based on what's going on in the real estate world and what's going on in the business world. You can't just say, like so many of you who are against it, oh, I don't believe the projections. It doesn't work that way. You have to look at the numbers and go, okay, we're going to invest this. We could spend $1 billion over here and fix this, fix that, which we're going to spend that money anyway. Okay, but this is excess money coming in because of projected growth on the SITS tax. So we've got this money. What should we do with it? Oh, so we can invest $1 billion of this and get back 2.8 and then create $75 million worth of economic impact? Okay. Well, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? So that's why I say there's a lot of negativity out there, but the best thing is the TBT doesn't vote. Joshua Wostall only has 1 vote. And most of the people that are bitching about this online don't vote. And they're in the minority and they don't understand the deal. They won't take the time to actually read on it and educate themselves. They don't even read the articles that they comment on. They just fire off and say something negative and back it up with absolutely no arguments and call you a name. But those people thankfully don't win the day most of the time. Nathan South says Bowles needs to hire a DC. Even Belichick, who was a top 5 DC in NFL history prior to being a head coach, opted to have a DC with the Pats. Bowles doesn't have the time to be HC, DC, and develop players. Absolutely. You know, I told you about this. There was I think it was one of the main football sites. They went and ranked each team by head coach, OC, DC, right? And the Bucs were dead last because the head coach is Todd Bowles and the defensive coordinator is Todd Bowles. And the offense coordinator, obviously, is Zach Robinson. Most every team, in fact, I think every single team had, coordinators except the Bucs. I mean, there might be one other team that didn't. Now, I know some of these offensive coordinators are more celebratory titles. If you're working for Andy Reid, he's calling the plays. Shanahan, I get that. But those guys, Andy Reid is going to rank way higher than Todd Bowles on both accounts.
Oh my God, are they even on the same list?
And Shanahan. So, yeah. And also, the Bucs aren't paying a defensive coordinator either. Big money. Like, usually coordinators make bigger money, right? But saves them some cash, too. Do with that what you will. Alejandro, what's up, brother? Said, honestly, JP, if we don't trade down, the Bucs stay at 15, there are players I would get Kenyon Sadiq or Akeem Mesidor. Listen, you come away with Sadiq, I'm not going to hate it. He's a really good player. He's going to impact the game if you use him the right way, and Zach loves the 2 tight end set. So, but it's just, how are you going to stop people? How are you going to stop people? You got it. We're going to score points. You got to be able to stop people. You got to get stops. And if we're I'm going to say wasting, but if we keep adding to an offense, that's great. Win every game 45-43. It's not a good way to go about winning championships. Defense wins championship. I know it's a cliche, but it's true.
It's a cliche for a reason.
Yeah. All right. Is there a second Alex super chat that you can find here, my friend? I read his first one. See if there's another one.
Super chats.
In the meantime, Balalabel says, I just watched that trailer the Buccaneers put out about the draft and got hyped when I saw the previous draft picks. Let's hope they take somebody that will make a big difference. We'll see. Hype videos are awesome. I love them, but you're going to have some substance. Alex says, I just don't agree with light signings like McCollum example, terrible. Resources could be used elsewhere. Great work, JP. And how about Nick Martinez? I know I'm eating that one, Alex. I'm eating that Nick Martinez one. I get it. Yes, I am wrong at times. It is true. Quite often. The Zion McCollum contract was bad. That was a bad one. Cutting Jamel Dean salary while extending McCollum, that seemed like hey, I got this pick right. We're going to keep him around. He's going to be really, really good. And he didn't. He regressed this year. He regressed. And I don't, if I'm Todd, if I'm Jason Light, I look at the way this team has been run and developed by the head coach, and I'm like, I would be like, man, we should be better. With the players I've given you and the roster I've given you, we should be better. Would you agree with that, Alex? Given the record, a 500 record with the players that we've had over the past 4 years for Todd Bowles, including Tom Brady in that, by the way. You think if you're going to blame somebody, you're going to blame the guy who put the roster together? You watch the games. You see the decisions that are made in game. You see the horrible clock management. You see the terrible defensive calls in clutch times. You see the lack of discipline on this team, the lack of physicality, the lack of speed. Well, that might go to Jason Light. But I think they all deserve blame for being 500 or credit, whatever way you want to believe. If you're one of those guys that, hey, the glass is half full and it's never going to be full, so I'm just going to keep drinking a half full. I don't know how that works, but I don't get fired up over 500. That is not my, I don't aspire to be average.
So JP, I'm hearing, look, we've talked about issues with Light in his drafting. I'm hearing maybe more issues with not Light in his drafting, but Light and his second contracts with some of these guys.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Sure.
Think about Winfield Jr. Now think about McCollum. It's not a failure. It's not a failed pick if you don't re-sign the guy after his rookie deal. I don't think. Depends on what production you got out of him for the first 4 years.
And where you picked him. Yeah, where you picked him.
Yeah.
I mean, were we not going to re-sign Antoine Winfield?
Yeah,
the problem with that is he's been hurt since he signed.
Yeah.
Or it's hurt or ineffective. Now, McCollum, you look at it and you say that, I don't think, like, we jumped the gun on that. We could have waited a year. Right? I don't think there were people knocking down the door for Zion McCollum. The second contract for Luke Gedeke, fine with that. Tristan Wirth, fine with that. Mike Evans, fine with that. Second, yeah. I mean, most of these have been pretty good. Zion McCollum is one. What's that? K-Dot's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Come on now.
But it's money you could have put somewhere else for someone way better.
I think he's good. I think he's pretty good, not great. I think he does a lot of good things. I think he's worth that money.
Okay, well, I can pay a blocking tight end, which is all he's useful for.
No, he's not.
Half his money.
I disagree wholeheartedly. Eric Weed says it's always the St. Pete residents and fans that are so damn salty about this stadium deal. When you ask them how many games they go to every season, it's like crickets. It is a little weird. You know,
stadium's in your backyard. Why are you not going to the games?
Yeah. By the way, where was the J.C. Bradbury commentary when they were doing the deal in St. Pete? I didn't see you trot him out when that deal was going down in St. Pete about what a terrible deal it was. I'm just glad I'm not the Lone Ranger on that anymore.
Like I said last week, JP, sometimes talking to these anti-stadium people, it's like you're dealing with people who don't believe we put man on the moon and people who believe the earth is flat. There's zero logic or common sense to it.
True. Alex says, fair enough, not defending Bulls, just feel there's a huge lack of talent to match a head coach scheme the Glazers are committed to. I mean, you look defensively and you're just like, where, like going into last year, I was, oh, wow, Hassan Reddick. I think he's, you pair him with Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey and that looks good. That looks like he got some talent there. I was wrong about Hassan Reddick. I was wrong. He just didn't want to play. He didn't want to play or just wasn't good enough or whatever. I was wrong about that. But I think we all kind of like the signing at $14 million. But here's the thing also. We kind of do that, right? We don't go all in on Trey Hendrickson. We don't go all in. We kind of like dance around it. We like, oh, let's see if we can get what we can get out of Hassan Reddick. Doesn't usually work out. And the other part about, talent, don't forget, we haven't had a top 10 draft pick or a top 5 draft pick in a long time. And that's the problem with winning these divisions at 9-8, 10-7, 8-9, is you're constantly picking in the mid. So it's really hard to find you don't find the Mike Evans at 15 usually, So, I mean, it's like, I don't think his drafts have been bad. I think they've been pretty good. He's drafted a ton of starters. But if your starters are constantly producing 500 records, are they great players? No, they're okay. But to be great, you got to have 5. Each Super Bowl team is going to have 6 to 8 great players that are above average. Every team has, the parity is probably there at that level. But you go and you look at, and sometimes you'll have a guy who might be worth 2, like a Patrick Mahomes. That guy elevates everybody, right? And you sometimes you get some of those guys, but sometimes you can win a Super Bowl like the Seattle Seahawks did. They had a lot of really good players, a couple great ones, but a lot of really good ones. And good coaching and game management also comes into play here, which is something that I think the Bucs have been seriously lacking. All right, we got to hit one more break. Yeah, I think we do. Yep. Let's hit one more break. Big O will hopefully be joining us here in a little bit. By the way, with Big O shows coming up today, not Friday, we're going to tape a day earlier or go live a day earlier. And Mike Murphy, head of the Murphy Auto Group and also a Rays limited partner, will be joining us to talk a little baseball. We'll be talking about the stadium, about a lot of different things, community involvement. So that'll be coming up on the Big O show a little bit later on today. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on. Big thanks to the folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you need plumbing work, AC work, anything mechanical around the house, Third Generation will take care of you. Really good people over there, by the way. Know the owner, John Rodriguez, PJ, who runs the place over there. They're just really, really good people, hardworking, blue-collar, Tampa through and through for generations after generations. That's why they're still in business and doing great business. They're so busy, they're hiring. So if you're in the HVAC business or plumbing and you're looking for a new job, want to look for a great local company that pays well, benefits, all that good stuff, it's Third Generation Plumbing. And don't forget, American Standard Heating and Cooling is the company they use, and the equipment that they use, it is the best in the business. That's why they use it, because it's durable and it can handle the Florida heat. So American Standard Heating and Cooling and thirdgenerationplumbing.com, your dynamic duo for all your HVAC needs. You can reach them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. All right, the man, the myth,
HVAC, that's a necessity, right? It's
damn right.
You know, if you live in Florida, it's heating up. Everything's heating up. The playoffs are heating up. You got for the Bolts, you've got obviously big night for the Bucs tonight and for all the NFL.
Big night for your University of Miami players tonight, and one of them that might be joining us.
I'm wearing that for a reason. Yeah. So
I'll take a little Akeem Mesidor on my team.
Akeem over here, edge rushing, and I think it could be an impact from day one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the type of potential that kid has and has shown. So I think he would fit in beautifully for the Bucs. But yeah, it's a hot season right now, even though it's also hockey season and on the ice is cold, but we can't have the Bolts be cold right now.
No bueno. The Bolts, by the way, we haven't done a lot of that talk. There's the moniker now nationally is the Bully Bolts.
Ooh,
the Bolts are now the bully, as they've taken a page out of the Florida Panthers book. And you know, it's interesting because when we had the incredible power play, people.
We already had the Broad Street Bullies. Can we not come up with something better?
The Bully Bolts. I like that.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. We're the most penalized team in the league this year.
Yeah.
You know, we don't necessarily, take our penalty by power play and score every time if you're going to put us in the box. So I think Cooper's just kind of like, listen, this is the way we got to play. It worked for the Panthers. And they just did that to the Canadians the other night. They just willed themselves to a win. It was like, this is not going to be pretty. We're just going to forecheck the Hadi and hit you every single time until you stop playing. And Montreal, I think they kind of tailed off in the third.
I don't think we should compare. I don't think we should compare the way the Bolts are playing right now to the way the Panthers have played the last couple of years. The Panthers played downright dirty. The Bolts are not playing dirty. They're just playing physical. There's a difference.
But it's not
that Sabrin hit might be
one hit. Okay, that's one example, JP. Show me an example every single game, and then I will call them the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, and that really could have cost us the series. But quite frankly, that was a dumb play.
That's a Cooper.
No, Cooper would not have sanctioned
No, not that particular play. But I'm saying them playing a little bit more aggressive because let's look at the last 3 years, man. I mean, they're a finesse team that has been bullied around. And they've been one and done, and so, you have to change something up.
100%.
Haven't been in,
you can't just keep taking it.
Playoff baseball in Japan and competitive at the high level. You got to take your game to them sometimes. And I was fortunate to be on a team that we had a little bit of both. We were aggressive, but we also were a finesse team. We had great defense, great pitching. You don't win back-to-back titles at the level of MPB if you're not. But we had a manager and coaching staff that said, get down on their throat a little bit when it's time. And I think maybe that's where they're going right now. They're trying to change the narrative a little bit.
Well, when you got a younger team like Montreal who hasn't spent a lot of time in the playoffs, one of your advantages is the level of intensity that it takes to win a Stanley Cup. They've not done it.
Yeah.
So we do. Our core of our players know what level you got to get to. And when you get to that level, and it's like we always, the old Scotty Bowman quote, it's not who plays the hardest, it's who plays the hardest the longest. And if you can wear them down, and Brian Bradley came on this show the other day at the morning skate and said, listen, this is what we got to do. When the whistle blows, you got to give him a shot. You got to give him a shot, a little shot, and a little shot. Away. Right at the echo of the whistle. Boom. And keep leaning on him. Lean on him. It adds up with these, because Montreal, their key players are really small too.
Yeah.
Suzuki, Hudson, these guys are not
and biggest. Young too. That matters.
And they're young team. Right. Yeah. When you got grown ass men that are kicking your ass all game long, by the third period and by overtime, Montreal wanted no part of it. They shrank in overtime, and the Lightning just kept coming, and you finally win.
How big do you think that win was for the
huge?
I think it was, right?
Well, you're sitting there in the third period down 2-1, and we're sitting up there talking about the future of this franchise.
Right.
You're like, they lose this game and get swept.
Yeah.
And don't even ever come back here for another, little bit of ching.
Yeah.
You don't even get a game 5. I said, there's going to be a lot of hard questions that are going to have to be answered in this offseason by a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying you fire Cooper or anything.
No,
but I say you look at everything. Yeah. You look at everything. It's like this would be 4 years in a row that you're out in the first round, and if you get swept by the Canadians, you go out without a whimper. At that point, you got to be like, okay, we can't just status quo this shit anymore. Something's got to change. Yeah. So that's how big a win it was. Because now you if you can win this series, right, and show proof of performance at this level with this group, we still got the core, but this group, then you keep going.
Exactly,
you keep going. But if they were to lose first round again, now if this goes to 7 games, it's all contextualized, right?
Exactly.
How does it all happen?
But I will say that at this level, when you get to the playoffs in all sports, certain wins, the momentum is so huge, you know what I mean? And people say like, oh, sports shouldn't be about money. It is. And the confidence level that rises, if you have the core, guys that have been there along with the ones that haven't, and then they just kind of rise together. So that's why I think this win was so massive, because this could they're coming back home. They take, they can possibly control this series. Yeah. They control this series. They're one of the most dangerous teams moving forward.
And you said momentum and confidence. They're linked.
Yeah.
No question about it. They are linked. But I would also say that momentum is especially in hockey, can go from shift to shift.
Right.
Can go from period to period. I don't know if it carries over from game to game. But I will say this. You walk into Montreal down 0-2. I don't think you have a whole lot of confidence.
Right.
I don't think you're like, I think you're still like, all right, how are we going to beat these guys? Yeah. How are we going to do this?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And now you win it. You win the game. You're like, okay, that's how we do it. Yeah. We just play harder than them longer. And we're able to do that. We showed it.
Oh, it's a psychological, but it's also a kind of commitment thing that now you feel that there's you saying there's a chance.
See,
hey,
Timmy,
hearing Big O talk hockey, this is all I can think of right here.
He can't see it, and I turn the monitor.
Tell him I texted it to him. Tell him to take his phone.
I love it.
You look pretty good on skates, actually,
dude.
You'd be a hell of a defenseman.
Yeah, that would be, especially on those skates. I'd be like 6'8".
You would be 6'8" on those skates.
It'd be like
awesome.
You'd be very Hedman-esque. By the way, Hedman is on the ice. We're told for morning skate. It's not morning skate. It's a practice today.
Yeah,
but he's been on the ice, right? Before
he's been on the ice. Yeah, he's been working out individually. So I don't know if he's working out with the team today, but I still would not expect him back for this series.
Amon's, a massive skater, I'm sure, because you're from up north.
Used originally. To be. When I had knees, I could skate.
No doubt. Yeah, don't put me on skate now.
He can't walk to the mailbox without getting hurt. So I don't think he's spent a lot of time on skates.
Sophomore.
Yeah, I don't think he's spent a lot of time on skates.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
He skates around just in shoes.
All right, so we got the O show coming up. We're going to get into the red, but give me a couple minutes on yesterday's game, what we learned, and now my new starting center fielder, Johnny DeLuca.
No, don't start with that.
Yes,
don't start with that. See, that's how you started with Nick Martinez. That's how you started stirring the pot.
Yes, I am.
And with Nick Martinez, and look how
I was wrong.
Nick. Bro, I'm gonna tell you real quick. Nick Martinez is looking like, especially with that 8-inning performance, 75% strikes, 95 pitches, 71 strikes, just filling the zone. But not just filling the zone, guys. He's hitting the quadrants, because if a pitcher can hit all 4 quadrants, up, away, up, high and away, down and away, down and in, and kind of just have you thinking and chasing. He's a poor man's, you're going to love this, Greg Maddux.
I knew you were going there.
A poor man's Greg Maddux, not by the money he makes, because he's making $13 million, but by the fact that he's nowhere near Greg Maddux. But he's pitching like Greg Maddux. He's pitching that type of game where 2 things are really becoming key. 3, the control, already aforementioned. The 2-seam fastball right now is Greg Maddux-esque. It's, he'll start it in and it'll run. Yes, dancing. And then his changeup is at another level right now. His changeup, you can't really differentiate the fastball, the 2-seamer from the changeup. So hitters are just baffled, and that's a pretty good little hitting, Cincinnati team. They put the ball in play, So I was very impressed. The length of being able to go into the 90+ pitches comfortably, says a lot, and that's an uplifting thing for the Rays right now. When you have Ryan Pepio down, you have Joe Boyle down. When you're talking about starters. Obviously, you got a couple of relievers, that hopefully are around the corner with Clevenger, doing his rehab, waiting on Uceda. This is massive. And both guys, even though Matt's got a loss a couple nights ago, I think he's doing his job formidably.
It's a bad night for him.
It was just a bad night. He gave up.
He left a couple cookies over the middle.
3 cookies over the middle. But it's with his changeup, so you're going to hopefully see him correct that and get that changeup down and away, like the way that the righty is doing. We need Matt to do that.
Hey, Big O, do you want to hear a crazy '90s baseball take that Tim had?
Yeah,
one of the many crazy takes that I had in the '90s on Dallas Sports Radio. I predicted that Major League Baseball would change the name of the Cy Young Award to the Greg Maddux Award.
Interesting.
After he retired.
Right.
Just because it's a more modern day example, like we all know how Cy Young was, right?
No.
But it was so long ago.
I think that's
so that people can better relate to what it really means. Like nobody knows. Oh, Cy Young's a famous pitcher. Nobody really knows his numbers or anything. But I thought at the time, like Greg Maddux is a more modern example of the most dominant pitcher of the day, and I thought that had legs.
I thought we're gonna go with controversy. I'm gonna be the one staring it. I thought it'd be the Roger Clemens Award then with 7. Yeah. No, but
that wasn't
too controversial. But he did win 7 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
So
did he win
I couldn't like Roger Clemens because he went to university.
How many after he started doing roids?
I don't
3.
know.
I think it was 3.
But I know I faced him before he did roids, and he
didn't need roids.
He did not need it. Yep. He did not need
allegedly.
it, my friend.
Allegedly.
And that's alleged, by the way.
Allegedly.
Okay? Yes, he would say you're misremembering.
That's
you're misremembering. You're misremembering how good Nick Martinez is.
Great quotes of all time.
That's the same thing Rafael Palmeiro will tell you right now, too.
Misremembered. Yeah, Rafi was right in the mix of that debacle.
Never admitted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you bring baseball players into the Senate conference room.
Senate conference, you get misremembered. You
get
pointing. I have never. He dropped the Clinton on us.
Yeah.
And then Sammy forgot English all of a sudden.
Oh my God.
That was
complete. He was the craziest thing. There was a commercial running on him promoting Dominican Republic in English. Come to the Dominican Republic. It's a wonderful place. It's great. The beaches, the sand. And then he goes to that thing. Goes, I know my English.
No habla inglés.
My English is not so good looking. My English not so good looking.
Neither is he these days.
And he still looks 10 times better than anybody else who testifies in that place. Oh my God!
All right, go Canes, baby.
Hey, by the way, Sammy Sosa. Most people forget this.
What?
Former Ranger great.
Oh, that's where he started.
Guess who traded him away? Guess who signed those trade papers?
Chicago. Yeah.
George Bush signed those trade papers to get him away for Harold Baines.
Yeah.
What was the
Harold Baines?
I forget which pitcher it was, but the Rays pitcher that picked up his corked bat. Remember when he shattered the bat?
That's right.
And he went over and he picked it up and he looked at it and he's like,
wait a second.
And you can see the big cork thing in the middle. And he hands it to the umpire. And the umpire looks at it and goes,
we got a problem here. Houston.
You're out.
He did right away. He threw him out.
He looked at the bat.
2003, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about. Was it Wechter? Was it Dougie?
I don't think it was Dougie. I would have remembered if it was Dougie.
Yeah, he just picked up the bat and went. What? What's in here?
We'll have to ask Dougie.
That had to be. That was almost as good as the Joe Negro moment where he pulled out. He's emptying his pockets and he takes the file and he flips it away. And there's one umpire sitting there and he goes,
"Really?"
And he follows it like he's like.
What is that?
What was that? That's not
no
mine.
idea.
That's not not my marijuana.
It's not. It's not on me now. Is it? Is it on me?
I would. Oh, baseball players, you guys! If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, buddy.
You ain't cheating. You ain't
There's
trying.
a lot of different ways you can cheat in baseball.
All right, so all those great stories coming up on the Big O Show. Mike Murphy's going to join us, Rays limited partner. So we should have a very festive.
Did Doug
show.
Wechter wear number 54?
What's that?
Did Doug Wechter wear number 54?
No, he did not.
All right, well, that's who picked up the bat. Was whoever's pitching for the Rays was wearing number 54.
54. Was that? No, he was later.
Anyway, we'll have that answer for you.
debate
Tanyan
that on the Big O
Sturts.
Show.
John Thiel says it was
Tanyan
Tanyan,
Sturts.
the great Tanyan
Remember
Sturts.
Tanyan
Oh,
Sturts?
former Ranger
Great
great.
name. Yes, wonderful name.
All right.
Wow, I forgot.
Oh, you
about
get the
him.
O close music here and open music. All right.
I like it.
All right, we will be hanging out with the Buccaneers for the draft tonight. So
Yay.
hang out with our social media. We'll give you our first thoughts on their number one pick, which hopefully will be Akeem Mesidor or some other really good edge rusher. We shall see. So we'll be that, and we'll have it for you tomorrow.
Makai Lemon.
Shut up. See you in a few minutes for the Big O Show.
Kenyon Sadiq.